Students often find biochemistry difficult, boring, and hard to understand. Now, my students were already searching for digital examples like animations to explain hard to understand biochemical concepts. Now, we know that visualizations are important to supporting students to learn. However, students also need to be supported to develop their skills in visual literacy and to understand how to critically evaluate the kinds of media that they will be using to support their studies. The other key component within this assessment task was that within the degrees of biomedical science and health science that undertake metabolism, students have really limited opportunities to express their creativity. So what we did was designed a group-based semester-long project worth 10% of the final grade for the course. Students were identified into groups of 5, and they were asked to develop a 5-minute multimedia representation of a biochemical pathway of their choice. The only constraint we made on teams was that their product had to be digital and submitted via Learning at Griffith. The assessment for the task consisted of a project plan that was submitted in week 7 and allowed groups to get feedback about the technical nature of the biochemistry that was underlying their project. Groups then worked across the rest of the semester and developed their final output that was due in week 12. Once we had all of the videos collated, students were then asked to peer evaluate a minimum of 10 other videos from groups that had undertaken the course. In the final week of the semester, the top videos were utilised as part of the final review for the course, and students were able to vote on their favourite video of the year, and that group was awarded a prize. Now, students utilised a wide range of modalities for their presentations, anything from animations and role play through to PowerPoint and even song. Because we gave students choice in how they presented their summaries, we did not explicitly teach students in how to use multiple technologies. Rather, we guided them to how-to sheets for the types of technology that might assist them in presenting their work. These technologies included iMovie, Windows Movie Maker and VideoScribe, and we drew upon the work of a national OLT project led by Gary Hoban titled Digital Explanations, and we logged that website into our Learning at Griffith site and encouraged students to access it. In terms of outcomes for this assessment, students absolutely loved it once they got over the challenges of first working as part of a group and second understanding how creativity related to biochemistry. Students ended up viewing 75% of all of the available presentations and watched those videos up to 3 to 4 times. For those presentations that we rated as high quality in the final review for the course, that percentage increased to 95% of the cohort who viewed those top 10 videos. Now, considering that the videos were only available to view from the start of the final week of semester, we found that students spent up to 7 hours revising for their final exams, watching videos created by their peers. Students also gave us their permission to utilise videos for teaching purposes, and they've become an engaging resource that we've utilised to support lectures. One of the most exciting outcomes of this assessment activity is that one of our student videos was nominated for the National Science Film Competition, where they won the People's Choice Award. In terms of tips, if you're thinking about embedding a creative multimedia task as part of your course, one thing that we noted was that we had to communicate really early to students about this as an item of assessment and to lead them to the resources that would help to support them in the presentation, but also for them to understand why it was important for their learning. We linked out to websites like Digital Explanations that prevented us from having to reinvent the wheel and create a whole heap of resources that were already existing online. We also encouraged students to access images and media files through Creative Commons. Now, assessment tasks like this that rely on students to create digital media aren't necessarily bound by copyright, though we wanted students to also understand the fact that if you're going to be using videos or images from online, copyright does apply. We also assisted students to form their groups because this was one of the first group tasks that students had undertaken within their studies, and we made sure that we checked in with them across the semester. Out of 30 groups in a semester, we only really had trouble with 2 groups across 4 years that this program was running. I thought it was really important for us to make space to celebrate the amazing work that our students had created, and this became one of the most exciting aspects of the course. Finally, we asked students to complete a copyright clearance form so that we were able to utilise their work moving forward.